such an asshole.
All right, we got, and no, I haven't showered. Yes, I am in the same pajamas, but I did change my underwear yesterday. Cappy, can I be like you when I grow up? Sure, just don't have kids, spend less than you make, and you too can wear your pajamas as late in the day as you want. You don't even have to change your underwear or socks. That's optional. That's when you're a real dapper capper. All right. Good afternoon, Cappy. Can you keep everything in parentheses and on summary? I have imposter syndrome in my current field of work, and I feel like I'm not smart enough to be a good analyst. Should I continue my efforts to make a career change into the field of information technology, or go to a field that is not as mentally taxing? Graduated from high school with a 2.8 GPA because I am lazy and did not try hard. I focused more on sports, girls, and social hierarchy. I will note that I was always in advanced math classes, though. After high school, worked dead-end jobs and wandered around aimlessly in college. FAFSA, covered general AA, no debt. Joined the military at 24 to get my life together and gain work experience in a field I could take with me when I plan to leave. I am married, no kids. My wife makes okay money in a real field, have no debt. Good. We have a fair amount of money. Resume, you have analyst experience, and you are a third done with a computer science degree. Overall life pretty good. I just stress at work because I feel like I am a moron compared to my coworkers. I'm terrible with reading comprehension. I feel like I sound like an idiot when I explain things, and my writing is inadequate. I also hate public speaking because I get anxious as hell. Luckily, if you meet the bare minimum in being a responsible human being in the military, they do not care if you're proficient at your job. They just care that the job gets done. Feel as though if I were employed by a civilian, they may find out I'm incompetent and fire me one day because I do not perform as well as others. Yep, that's a risk. I could get hit by a truck. Let's live in crippling fear of both, shall we? Whether I get hit by a truck or not, it's not out of my control. Whether you actually put in the work so that you're confident and secure, at least, like, yeah, I did a good job. This is fine. You control that. I want to be a great analyst, try hard to be one, but I fear my brain does not have the intellectual capacity to be a top performer. I've never considered myself a nerd when I hung out with nerds until now. I experienced a culture shock when I first got into the field. Along with nerds, the conversations we have intellectually stimulating. I just always compare myself to others who could soak up information like a sponge and turn around and explain it properly. I've only been in the field for a year. First desk job, I'll tell you something, but hey, you want some free advice about your writing? Get to the point. And you got a long ass paragraph about going into IT, and then you are typical millennial paralysis analysis. Should you change your degree and transition to something less mentally challenging like trade work, healthcare, or business? Business! Because you're lazy. I think, dude, bro, this is the first time you've actually been challenged intellectually or intelligently. And now you're like, oh my God, it's hard. Yeah, it's just like you went to the gym, right? You did the math, right? It's yes. Yes. Life is hard. And I asked you what kind of analysis you did. All right, I'm gonna keep it. Sorry, but you said you did political analysis. I'm just shaking my head. So you're all over the place. So let me. This is you don't need 100-yard run. I don't need 100-yard run to kick you in the ass. This is like 40-yard run. Give you a sort of swift kick in the ass. All right, dude. I was a sovereign analyst back in the day. Sovereign risk analyst, political analyst when I was an economist back in the day. It's not hard. Okay. And yeah, it's going to take a while to become proficient at it, especially depending on how wide a scope. Like I was in charge of Asia. Okay. Oh, it's a pretty wide area. A lot of countries in Asia. Didn't know if you knew that or not. And and here's what you do. This is all you do as a political analyst. You read a ton. Now, I don't know what the reports are. in my day, you'd go get there were data services we subscribed to. This was at Norwest. This is long ago. This is before Wells Fargo. They had a subscription to every type of political publication out there. The Economist Intelligence Unit. There was another one. I don't know if it was put out by the World, the IMF. But the internet was just getting it. So International Labor Organization, of course, I took it from more of an economics perspective. And all I did was consume copious amounts of data and articles and reports. And I always read whatever the most recent thing was, because that was always changing, day by day at times. And so I won't lie, I was probably the foremost authority on several Asian countries at that time, among a handful of other people. And that's it, man. It's just a book report. It's a big ass, continually moving, constantly changing story book report. And so I don't know what resources you guys have, whether you take in like business reports, you take in survey information, whatever it is, whatever that information is, you take it in, you read it, and then you just write what's going on. You succinctly put it together. Oh, you don't like public speaking? Too bad. It's just like anything else, man. You do it and you'll get used to it. You become better at it. And the more and more you worry about it, then you'll still become better at it. If you worry about it, you're not going to get worse. Okay? But the more you worry about it, the longer you will delay your progress in this. Right? You'll overthink things. All it is, man, you consume a ton of information. I'm assuming you're assigned an area or a country. I remember, what was it? Was it Malaysia? This is long ago. You read up on the people, you get their background, all the people. It's actually more like watching a soap opera unfold before you, as different things politically and economically happen within countries. And that's it. You're not like a technical analyst or an engineering analyst or reverse engineering the blueprints of a MiG-31. You got this is the pretty easy one, dude. You just read and report. All right. And yeah, you're probably behind people who've been there for 4 years. You've only been there 1, but you're making progress. And so I would say you're also not an imposter. For really, I gotta take this. God damn it. Just stuff. You're not an imposter because obviously there's a learning curve. You've only been there for a year. They wouldn't have assigned it to you. And I'll be perfectly honest. It's government work. You're right. They're not going to fire you. I've never been in the military. I don't know why the military, I'm sure I know why, but why they need vast amounts of people. I don't know. Maybe the dynamics, maybe it's, we keep tabs on foreign countries politically and economically and militarily so that we can preemptively use diplomacy and diplomatic means or sanctions or whatever to prevent them. Maybe wage economic clandestine warfare on cut off their supply of magnesium so we don't have to send in troops. I don't know why. But at the same time, given the quality standards of the military recently, I wouldn't worry about it. I don't think they're going to fire you. And like literally everything else in life, do your best. Read a lot. Maybe structure or organize your writing before you write. When you read all these reports, that will help your writing as well. It's how do I gain muscles? I'm afraid I'm an imposter. Are you at the gym? Yeah, but I'm scrawny and skinny. Are you lifting the weights? Yeah, well then you're not an imposter. You're doing it. And there's no school for this. There's no like, and I'm sure they didn't give you training because there's what training like here. See that stack of papers and articles over there? Yeah, go read it. Tell us what's in it. Get us the key data points out of there. That's it. That's all it was. I mean, it was no different when I was. All it was like basically just being a student. You read all this stuff and you write a report. And over time, you'll get better and better. So you said in your long and meandering request that you want to be an analyst. Well, go be an analyst. That's fine. And until you get called into the office and whatever, your commanding officer or Lieutenant Jones comes in there and says, hey, you didn't do that good. You're fine. And you'll get better with time. Now, I will warn you going forward, there is not much need for analysts, political analysts. You could maybe go and have a 10-second appearance on Fox News. You could maybe go work for a think tank, but there's very limited employability to political sovereign risk analysts. I don't even think they have analysts now at large banks. I don't know why they did now in hindsight. Like, well, what are you're a domestic bank? Why are you? I think they're just like, oh, we're so cool. We're analysts. So I would not give up your degree in computer science. Absolutely not. I would continue to pursue that, but I would not quit this job. I'll tell you this, it's much more interesting. That's probably the most interesting job you're going to have. Because otherwise it's programming code. Unless you're a real good code monkey and you really enjoy programming code, you're paid to sit and read about different countries and different stories. The soap opera, you get to watch the soap opera unfold of Japan or whatever countries you might be analyzing. Well, that's more interesting than spreading spreadsheets and telling Jessup, the sister screwing yokel in Wyoming, no, he's not getting a loan for his pickup truck. All right. That's better than sitting in meetings. Like, what are we gonna do about the Johnson trailer? Should we repossess it? Should we foreclose on it? I don't know. Let's sit here and scratch our balls some more and discuss whether we should repossess a $25,000 trailer with tetanus and mold. Okay, it's pretty cool job you got. That's not bad. I mean, I guess I should say there's no employability. I guess you could go work for the CIA or go up the ranks within the military field. I mean, there's all the different branches have intelligence divisions. Like, what? Don't you all just have one? Just one. So we're all on the same page. We're all getting the same information. So that you could be a spook. Who knows? You go down, you be a spook, whatever. But I would still. That's not unless you became the next whatever Jason Bourne or whatever, some kind of analyst. Although remember those 90s and aughts movies, everyone was a military analyst, and there was always these movies with lots of screens, and there was a sharp-looking woman. Who there's the guy went rogue in the field. Oh no! And there's a smart, sassy, early 30s white woman who, and trying to convince her and the boss was corrupt. He was the guy. He was the mole. But they always, at the command screen, the headquarters, always a bunch of screens. I don't think it's like that. I don't know if it's like that. But maybe you could be one of those people. But outside of that, no, don't give up your computer science degree. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then you meander some more. You could tighten up your writing. You really could tighten up your writing. Unless I could be wrong though. Maybe your bosses like it if you blather on for a while. I don't know. My brain does not have the intellectual capacity to. I fear my brain does not have. Well, then make sure it does. Huh? How about that? How about that? Huh? I've never considered myself a nerd. I come on with the nerds. Find the conversation with intellectually stimulating. Yeah, don't get used to that, man. I don't know if you've ever had a real job before, but this is about as good as they get. Compare myself to others who could soak up information, turn around, explain it properly. I only have been in the field for a year. I love video games and interested in technology. No, dude, video games is not a thing. Are you a hot chick with big boobs? No, then video games is not going to be a career for you. Yeah, I'd stay in the military. I don't want to give too much. Transition to the guard afterwards with the military. Yeah, no, I like your overall plan. And no, you are not transitioning into something less challenging. Look, you're not failing now. No one's told you screwed up. No one's saying you've been there a year. So here's the plan. Here's what you got to do. Keep being an analyst. All right, you'll get better at it. And if you're worried you're not doing well enough, I guess you read more. And I guess you put a little bit more effort into tightening up your work. This is not like something like I go to the gym, I push up the weights, I add 5 more pounds to weight. Now I bench press more. I improve 5 pounds. All right, this is more of an art. This is, I didn't come out writing great. But over time, you just end up becoming a better writer naturally without putting a lot of effort. I guess the only thing I say is, do an outline. Put yourself in your boss's position. Does your boss, Captain Schmo, have all the time in the world to hear you meandering and going around like that kid in Family Circus? Couple bullet points, the key things, however many it is that are important. Damn. Or maybe read some other guys' reports. Man. Private Peterson, he's got some really, I like him. He's sharp. Hey, Peterson, can I read your reports? Just get kind of an idea how you structure and organize it. So don't give this up. Don't give up your computer science degree. No, you're not majoring in business. I mean, I know you're a jock, but you're not that stupid. And then stay in the military. Absolutely. Keep working this until it, and then, down the road, and I don't know how long you be an analyst, 2-3 years. I don't know what you do. Maybe, it would be really cool if you could go be an analyst at the CIA with the computer screens and the young 30-something woman who's like got her thinking, and then the guy in the field's rogue, but then her boss is the bad guy. Who knew? He's always kind of a balding, middle-aged white guy, a little rotund. And you could work with the big computer screens. But then definitely have your computer science degree as a backup. So if you do go into the civilian world, you could do computer programming or whatever IT type of work you'd like to do. But you're not an imposter. You just lack confidence. And if you lack confidence, it still bothers you, then do more. I don't wait. It's like this with Stuart Smalley. I'm not good. I'm good enough. I'm hard enough. But gosh darn it, people. I don't wake up. Stuart Smalley. Like, okay, we got to do this crap. Let's do it. Let's do it. Get up. Do it. Macon 156. 5 Canadian bucks. Cappy, will you find time for a quick coffee when I'm in South Dakota? I think I go down to the U.S. to visit my friends. I'm excited to see the beautiful U.S. nation. No, dude, I think I'm burnt out on meeting up with fans individually. In part, I don't have time. In part, I need to not work all the time. And I need smart people. I'm not babysitting. Not to accuse you of this, but I can't go and meet people and then just have the life sucked out of me when it's. I'm not your therapist, guys. I'm not. Conversation works where the other guy talks occasionally, and there's intellect and all that. So I'll do meetups with a group of people, but I'm not meeting people one-on-one for a while. In the olden days, it was cool. Like you'd meet some really cool people. I'm talking the blogging days. Hey, what's going on, man? And now a lot of people just don't have their dads around, and they have solipsism. They don't realize that I'm another human being, and that it's not that entertain me, but I can't just go there and hear people barf their world's problems at me, and it ends up being a free consultation. Not to accuse you of that, but that's now running at about a 70% rate, where it's like, okay, that's it. All right, there we go. Questions, answers, assholeconsulting.com. See you guys later, too.